Hey there, hello. It's Tuesday, November the 3rd, and you are listening to the Next LVL Podcast, Episode 2. I am Emin Basavan, and with me is my main man, John Danho.
Hey.
And the big boy himself, Meher Apo.
Hello.
How are you guys doing, man? Meher, you brought some beers. What is this? What are we drinking?
We are drinking Stella Artois.
Okay.
I don't even know if that's how you say it correctly.
Artois.
It is.
But I do know that it's Latin for star. Isn't that cool?
Wait, which
Artois?
is Stella Artois?
Artois. Artois
so
is Latin for star.
So what's Stella?
Is that just the name?
I don't know. No idea, dude.
All right.
I didn't care for the rest.
Last time I bought a Stella, they gave me a free cup with it.
A what cup? Like a Stella branded cup, or
Yeah.
just like a plastic cup?
No, like a Stella brand, like a chalice.
Do you still have that?
Yes.
That's
Oh.
classy. That's classy, man.
Yeah. What the hell?
The whole bottle is classy. They have like the paper thing
It
on
just
the top.
oozes
and-
class.
Yeah, it does. But see, this is the thing, dude. To me, it's always felt like a very generic beer, and maybe it's not. But that's just like, I guess, because it's such a convenient thing for people to bring. to
It's just a
parties
very
or-
pleasant thing to drink. That's all.
Yeah, it is very pleasant. I
Yeah.
like it a lot. Imported, man.
It's not like some nasty IPA that you have to like nuzzle down. But
You don't have to fight it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
yeah, you don't have to fight it.
accept it.
It's on your side.
It just- it's
Stella's
right
on
there.
your side.
Yeah, no, it's like a buff. It's like a priest buff. Like they just give you a nice little buff and you just go on your merry way, fight the dragon, win, and have a Stella, dude.
Oh no, absolutely.
Fantastic. I also like it because a lot of beers give an aftertaste, like a kind of disturbing aftertaste, even if it's a good like dark beer. But Stella just
Smooth.
easy peasy, you know.
Yeah, it finishes. It finishes as it starts, so it's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
So
What
that's
is-
why
this
it's
is
my
a-
favorite beer.
This is a lager. What makes a lager a lager? Are you guys?
Do you know the distinction,
guys
John? Because I
beeries?
have no fucking
Dude,
idea.
I wish I knew anything about anything in this world, and this is the thing that I should know about because I drink the most beer, I think, out of you two, perhaps. But yeah, I don't know what makes a lager, or a stout, or any of these very, very poignant questions.
I just
I
trust
do not
it.
have the answer. You just what?
I just trust it. It's telling me it's a lager.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I trust
It's
it.
a lager. I mean,
So
that's
this is my question. Anno 1366. So were people in Belgium drinking this beer from 1366 and I'm inheriting that like culture right now?
no, you know what? I actually looked it up because I didn't believe that bullshit that they've been making this for 600 years, and it turns out it was conceived in like 1926
All right.
as a Christmas beer.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah,
A Christmas beer.
Happy
as a
holidays.
Christmas beer. So they just lied.
Yeah.
It's not from 1366.
Did they mention why it
Yeah.
says
So what the hell is
or-
that? Well, what does anno mean?
Because it makes you feel like it's a storied, you know, like delicious.
Dude, you know what? Okay,
Tried
I'm
beer.
gonna say something about that actually like has been aggravating me for a while. I hate false advertising with beer, and the number one false advertised beer, dude, used to be one of my favorite beers is Blue Moon. And fuck Blue Moon for making me think that it's like an artisanal like Belgian beer and all this stuff. It's made by fucking Coors, dude. The
Oh
piss
yeah,
of all
I've heard
beer.
this spiel.
Yeah, no, I hate it. I never touched a Blue Moon since your brother told
So
me.
you're saying it's essentially Coors?
It's Coors, just a different. It's made here. It's essentially Coors. It's like it's maybe a slightly different formula or whatever. Yeah, I know a lot of people will say, "Well, it's good. You can still drink it." No, dude, that just spoils the whole thing to me. Like that, I was kind of like lied
I still
to.
like it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man.
It's a decent beer. It's something
Yeah.
you could drink.
Yeah, bro,
It's
I'm
not
not
a Coors.
I'm not saying it's not a decent drink. I'm saying it ruined the drink for me. That like that whole false. Like someone is literally suing Coors because he felt like he was lied to, and I feel like I should have been that person.
He's certainly gonna lose.
Bro, he might lose, but it might be settled, and he might get like a little fat sum of money, and then he could use that to buy Blue Moon.
In his dreams.
In his dreams? What do you mean, man? America's made up of even cheaper lawsuits than
Because
that.
him, like you, enjoyed the taste before you found out through sheer fact, through reading something online that you were cheated. And fair enough. If it's that
I
important
was
to
cheated.
you, if it's that important to you, you should feel cheated. But
Yeah,
the
no,
taste
I-
remains the same before and after
I'm
the
not
fact.
a fan. I'm not a fan at all of being lied to in advertising. And I know advertising is all about lying to me, but I thought beer was sacred, man. I thought like that was my first like my dream was shattered with that. But yeah.
Sorry
I
to
don't
hear
know.
that, man.
But Stella doesn't lose any points for me because they have the anno. I don't mind. Stella's just delicious and it's all good.
And you know what? I love everything about Stella, but there is one thing that I just have to say. The inconvenience of how high this paper goes. You know, the
Because you're
brand
meant to drink it
paper.
in
Little
his
foil
chalice.
Yeah, there you
yeah,
go.
you're not
You
meant
have
to
pour
drink
it
it
in the
out of the
chalice.
bottle. Yeah, you're not meant to.
What are you, peasant?
Fair enough, dude. But they're giving me the bottle. You know, I'm gonna drink it out of the bottle. I don't have glasses right here.
No, I think there's some peasant talk going around here, man.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no. You
Okay,
need the
guys.
chalice or the goblet or something.
You're making me feel unclassy.
With a classy beer in your hand, huh? It's all right, man.
Thanks, man.
Would you
No.
classify yourself as classy, Mahed?
Dude, I am the opposite of class.
Oh, okay.
I am the grime. I am the dirt.
So why
Okay.
do you feel
I'm
insulted?
the pebble you step on.
So why do you feel insulted at all?
Because Stella was my one connection to,
All right.
to a classy world, and you've shattered it.
Oh, I'm
man.
sorry, man.
That's okay. You can go back to 1336 and
tell them what's up.
1926.
Yeah.
1926.
Go fuck yourselves.
Bring your goblet, dude. Don't forget. Easy squeezy.
You
So-
fucking enjoyed Coors Light, dude.
I don't enjoy.
Speaking
Coors
of
Light.
trash,
I don't enjoy Coors Light
you
at
used to
all.
enjoy Coors Light by your own words.
Oh,
am
yeah,
am I one of the only people that legitimately likes Coors?
Yes,
You guys are crazy.
I don't like Coors. If I had to choose,
It's like a juice. It's a drinkable thing you could drink that slightly gets you buzzed.
why
It's-
wouldn't I
it's
just drink
pleasant.
juice?
Because that doesn't get you drunk.
But I don't need to get drunk off Coors Light. I feel like the drunk I'm getting off Coors Light is like I begin to question my metaphysical boundaries.
The drunk you get from a Coors Light, the drunk you get from a Coors Light is sacred. It's different.
What do you mean?
It's a rowdy drunk, man. It's different.
Oh, it's a Rocky Mountain drunk? Fuck off, dude.
I swear to God.
That's some bullshit.
No, depending on what you drink, you get a slightly different drunk.
Yeah, I will agree with you there.
Okay, Johnny.
What have you boys been playing lately?
Hearthstone.
Yeah,
Good amount of Hearthstone.
that's right. John, you started up Hearthstone recently, didn't you?
I did start it up recently at your guys' behest.
Yeah.
And I know, I mean, you've been playing it since beta, actually. It's for a long time.
Yeah, it's like ever since it was in beta, it's been like 2 years, I think. I've been playing
wow.
that.
You're a loyal player.
Yeah, man. I think it's a fun game.
And
I
what
do
about
too.
you, Mahed? How long have you been playing?
I've been playing for about 4 months now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I have a good grasp of all the heroes, and I like it a lot. It's
Yeah.
very fun. I was a Magic player, so initially I thought like, why would I play a dumbed down version of Magic? But that's it's a lot more than that. I don't think it's really just completely dumbed down.
I
It's-
think I definitely think it's very much in the Magic vein, very casualized, because I think the biggest difference that Hearthstone does to Magic is that it streamlines the entire mana process. Because in Magic you have to you have to manage your mana. You
there's
have
the
to have,
random
mana
element
cards.
of like being mana
Yeah.
starved. Yeah,
But what Hearthstone does, every turn you get another mana.
yeah, you're never mana starved. I never
Yeah.
thought about that.
Well, you're not mana starved, but you're starved for cards that can utilize your mana. So if you have a full hand of like high mana cards, like 4, 5s, and 6s,
Yeah.
you're not really going to get anything on the board till later, and it just kind of hinders you.
Yeah, but then that still forces you to be smart about how you create your decks.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah,
doesn't
That
happen.
That's
just
true.
kind of goes to like how you create your deck or how you mulligan
I mean,
your
if
hand.
you start first with only 3 cards to play and they're all like 8, 8, and 9 mana, and then you replace all of them and then it's 7, 6, and 5 mana,
Something's
there's nothing
wrong.
you can do. Something is just inherently wrong.
So
Yeah.
how many cards can you have total in your deck in Magic?
In Magic, I
Yes.
think
it's
like,
open-ended.
No, I think it's a max of 60, I would say.
Oh, yeah, there's a max.
You
but
can
what I
have
meant by
4
open-ended,
of each card.
Yeah.
Oh, and Hearthstone is 30, right? And 2 of each card?
Yes, that's correct. Except the legendaries, that you can only have 1 of each legendary.
Yeah, that's true. But
But
you can have numerous
multiple legendaries.
Yeah, you can have
Yeah.
numerous legendaries. Oh, you can have an entire board of legendaries, huh? Just they summon it on you and you have.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. And there's cards that like copy cards. There are cards that duplicate enemy
A
cards.
creature or whatever
Yeah.
on the field.
So let me ask you a question, Emin.
Go for it.
I was wondering whether or not some heroes are predisposed to have advantages against other heroes in particular. Do you see what I mean? Like a priest would be
Yeah.
better against a hunter, for example. I haven't pinpointed exactly when that's occurred, but it has felt like that. I have encountered that a number of times. Does anything like that exist?
Yeah, I mean, like there are definitely some hero powers that kind of counteract other hero powers. Like for example, the hunter's hero power is for 2 mana you deal 2 damage, and the priest hero power is for 2 mana you heal for 2 damage. So that kind of like counters each other out. But I wouldn't say that the class itself counters the other class. I don't think something like that exists. It more depends on how you're constructing your deck, because you can have a control hunter that will completely wreck some aggro paladin, for example.
Mhm.
But in a lot of other circumstances, the paladin might also counter the hunter.
So
Just depending on how the decks are constructed and depending on how the people play.
is there competitive Hearthstone?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that
Yeah.
brings up another question. You're saying that the heroes aren't necessarily stronger against like another particular.
Well, I
hero.
mean, like some heroes will get popular in the meta, just like any other game. You
Hmm.
know, like right now, what's really popular and what's very annoying to go up against is the Secret Paladin, which is a paladin that basically revolves around one card. It's a 6 mana creature that has 6 attack, 6 defense, and once you play him, you put one of every secret onto your board. So you activate one of every secret that you have.
That's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. So that kind of, it's very frustrating to play against. And if the paladin up to that point has board control, then there's no way you can like penetrate that.
So John, I know that you actually had some as a brand new player of Hearthstone, you've been encountering some walls when it comes to playing people who you just feel powerless against sometimes. Do you have that sentiment at all? Am I misguided in thinking that?
No, you're not misguided at all. I feel like I can generally sum up my main criticism of Hearthstone into one sentence, and that being that it does not allow me to play the way that I want to play, and it feels like it doesn't foster my intention of playing it. Like it doesn't encourage me to do what I want in it.
And why is that?
Because I'll tell you exactly why. So when I first started, which was like not even 2 weeks ago, perhaps, I first started and I wanted to play a warrior because warrior was my favorite class in WoW, right? In World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
And so my natural inclination playing a game that's based on Warcraft is to play the class that I'm most familiar with, that I enjoy the most. And so I wanted to go with warrior. And almost every person that I spoke to when I was trying to learn the game was basically telling me that warrior is hard mode because you have to spend a lot of money to get the good deck. And even then, like, it's still not going to maybe stack up against other decks, or that you're going to be like just stalled in the beginning because you're not going to have the right cards, etc. So then I said, okay, I won't play warrior, let me play shaman. And some people are telling me that, oh, shaman doesn't get good until a little later, or you need to get lucky with your cards, and you need to get lucky with the RNG mechanics of the hero power, summoning a totem. And so, okay, so two things that I really would have loved to do, I was walled. And so the only solution that I see to get out of these predicaments in Hearthstone is to pay money. And I don't want to pay money. So my other option is to grind. But I don't want to grind because I'm just losing constantly because I'm not able to play the way that I want to play. And so someone would suggest, well, why not play a priest, or why not play a paladin or something, or a hunter? And just make coins and all that stuff. But those decks aren't as fun to me because I've seen how they're played, because they're played against me, and they don't seem like my style of play. And so the game itself doesn't foster my individuality. It feels like it's basically there to drain my wallet. And that's the main criticism I have. Now, whether or not it's a fun game, I'm not even going to touch that topic at this very moment. But that was my problem with it, and it still is my problem with
No,
it.
I think you're totally right. And to just slightly elaborate on that, most people who I've encountered who play Hearthstone or started playing Hearthstone, myself included, they use the mage deck when they're just starting out. And that is also the first deck that I think if you do the tutorial or whatever, it teaches you to play with the mage deck.
I like the mage deck. It was okay.
So I guess the mage deck is just like the one that's kind of designated for people to get over that initial hump, which sucks because if you're not digging the mage's power and the way the mage deck is played, then you're just kind of doing it against your own
her.
will.
Yeah, I didn't mind it, but I just didn't want it.
Yeah.
You know, and I did enjoy. I mean, I do enjoy my victories as playing warrior. I do enjoy them a lot because when I earn a victory as a warrior, it's like I got lucky, right? But I also I had the better deck perhaps, or I got the better cards, or I drew the better cards, what have you, whatever goes into the Hearthstone meta, right?
Sure.
Or whatever goes into each individual match. But it feels good to win as someone who is apparently hard mode. Like, it just feels great to do that. But they're few and far between that I win the games as warrior on the starter cards.
Yeah.
So I just have one rare, I think, as a warrior, like an extra rare. And that's about it.
Yeah. Going back to what you were saying, John, I do agree with what you were saying. I think the biggest problem with Hearthstone right now is that it has a very high barrier of entry, and you do need to spend a bit of money, especially if you're coming in this late into the game, just because there's already been two entire sets, like 2 expansions. There has been 2 other adventure modes. That's hundreds and hundreds of cards that you don't even have access to. Like, you still need to dig through all of the base cards that came with
Yeah.
the original game.
Straight up, whenever I'm buying
Yeah.
packs or like with the coins that I earn, I only get the classic ones, I think, right? But then you have the option to get the other ones. And I
Yeah.
asked a friend, I'm like, should I get the Naxxramas or whatever? And she was like, no, don't worry about any of that. Just get your classic cards. And it's like, all right, well, I'm not really getting what
Yeah.
I want out of the classic deck. So
Hold on, are there some cards that you can only get if you do the quests that they want you to do?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, so
that
there are
explains a
adventure
lot.
modes. There's 2 adventure modes. There's one Nax, and the other one is Black Rock Mountain, I believe.
And you have to pay for those.
You have to pay for those or with in-game currency.
how much does it cost in game
gold.
currency? Do you
It's
remember off the top of
per
your head?
wing.
lot.
So there's 5 wings per instance
Yeah,
or
yeah.
adventure mode. 700 gold, or I think if you just buy it straight out, it's like $30.
Like Blizzard, I guess, was smart because they kind of circumvent any kind of criticism because they let you pay for the game as you would any other game and probably have the same access to it that normal people would.
Sure.
Or they allow you the option to free to play, but then you're kind of gimped. And so that I guess that's the criticism to my criticism is that, oh, you don't have you're choosing to play free, whereas you could just pay the money as any other normal game and be on par with most people.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, why give me the option to play for free if you're just going to gimp me? That just feels like economical psychology 101. Like, they hook you and then they just take money. You know what I mean? Like, that, to me, that's just kind of underhanded. Like, it's an underhanded business model for a game.
Sure.
I completely agree with you, but then I'm trying to think about what they would have rather done. Like, let's say they made the game $15 for everybody, you know, but then it's more of an equal footing. Like, I can't think of a way that they could have really done that to make you actually pay for it and then just give everyone equal opportunity. You would still have to pay to do
Something.
Yeah.
Well,
You know? I think at its core, the idea of the game, like Magic too, is that you're gonna have to invest in it a little bit if you want to get down to what it's all about.
well, let me preface what I'm about to say by saying that I think Blizzard, they have like teams and teams of analysts that know exactly what they're doing. So what I'm about to say probably sounds uneducated or amateur by comparison, but I feel like Magic is you can't really compare Magic to Hearthstone in that way, because when you're buying packs for Magic and you're investing, you kind of will get something in every pack that really you can use or think of a way to use, right? But if I want to buy packs in Hearthstone and I want to primarily do it as warrior or I want to do it as shaman or whatever, I'm not guaranteed to get those cards in my pack, and I might have just wasted money on a pack with cards I don't want to use at all, and that don't have any kind of relevance to me. So
Yeah, you know what? That seems more pronounced in Hearthstone, but that I think that can also happen in Magic. Just to counter just to play devil's advocate, because let's say, you know how there are the 5 different colors.
Sure.
I don't know, it might be 6. It's slipping my mind right now. But let's say you want to play red, and red in Magic is like super offensive, you know, and that's just your play style, like you were saying earlier. Like, that's what you like to do.
Yeah.
And you open up a deck, and there's just like there's a greater number of green cards, or the red cards are just kind of shitty, and you get a really nice blue card. You know what I mean? The same kind of things happen in Magic, I think. But I
like
see
the
what
thing
you mean.
about-
It is definitely pronounced. It is just
because every class is so distinct.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the thing about Magic is, let's say I want to run a red deck, I can go buy the red cards that I want. Like, I
Individually.
I don't
Yeah.
need to dig through, like hundreds of booster
You
packs
don't have
and
to
try
wait
to get
for them
to
to
it.
just come up.
Yeah. To be fair, in Hearthstone, you can do that. You can construct the cards you want with dust, but in order to get dust, you have to disenchant kind of extra cards that you have.
I actually don't know anything about the dust system, so do you want to explain it for me?
Yeah, and the crafting, is that
Yep.
one and the same?
Yeah. So
I have no idea either.
basically, there are 4 different rarity of cards. You have 5, I guess. Basic, which every class is different, and then there's common cards.
The basic is with no diamond, right? Just
Yeah,
regular.
It's just regular. And then you have the one with the white diamond. Those are common cards. You have blues, which are rares, purples, which are epics, and orange, which is legendary. And depending on how rare it is, you can disenchant it for increased dust. So for a regular legendary, you can disenchant the legendary for 400 dust. But if you want to construct a legendary, it is 1600 dust.
Sounds good, Blizzard.
That's kind of shitty.
Yeah.
Very shitty exchange rate.
But let's say you have a golden version of the cards, like the foil cards that you get in Magic or in Pokemon or whatever. There's gold versions of the cards which have like a little bit of like cute animation, that sort of it. Yeah, those disenchant for
A lot more.
extra. Yeah. So if I have a golden legendary, instead of disenchanting it for 400, I will disenchant it for 1600.
Wow. Oh, so that's an immediately a
Yep.
new legendary.
Yeah. That's kind of how they.
So do you feel
Do
like
that.
a lot of people do disenchant their
Absolutely.
golden ones? Because I feel like those are rare. Like, why would you want to? It's kind of like a nice little
Actually,
bragging.
let me just tell you why
Yeah.
someone who's only been playing for 3 months would disenchant a card like that. So I'm very lucky. The second
Oh,
second
fuck
pack
you.
I opened,
Yeah.
I got that really crazy dragon
Sure.
Alexstrasza that sets either hero's life to 15, which is when I
Golden.
told Emin, he was like, "Dude, what?" Like it was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And then the third pack I opened, I got Malygos, which is just happens to be another dragon legendary. The spell damage +5, whatever. And then just recently, like a week ago, I opened another deck and I got that same Malygos legendary card,
Golden.
except golden.
Oh.
Okay. What
So-
did you do? Did you get rid of the golden one?
I actually, I had, as I said, I didn't know anything about it. So I guess later tonight, if I'm going to play Hearthstone, I'm going to go disenchant
May
that.
as well,
Yeah,
because
that
you
shit.
get it all
Absolutely.
brand new.
Because why
one,
not?
right?
Yeah, because there is no difference.
I just thought it was laying-
There's
just
no
sitting there.
difference in like a regular card and the golden version of the card, except how they look.
So let's say I disenchant my golden Malygos
Okay.
and I use that dust to get a new legendary.
Sure.
Does it have a chance of being Malygos again, or will it?
No. You choose the card that you construct.
Oh, you choose what you want.
Yeah.
And they
out
have
of like their
individual
list?
costs?
Yep. Out of like the construct cost.
Okay.
Yeah, which is
Interesting.
4 times as much as the card disenchants for.
So you can straight build it, like you can disenchant like an entire deck and try to build like a new deck. If you wanted to.
Technically,
Well, I mean,
yeah.
I'm sure there's going to be.
But you wouldn't want to do that.
You wouldn't want, yeah.
Yeah.
But you
there's
can-
certain cards that you can't disenchant though, which
What cards?
is I think they call it basic cards, which is the cards that come with the game. That
Oh
come
yeah, your
with-
basic class cards.
Yeah,
like the
you
20.
can't-
The 20 cards.
Yeah, you can't disenchant those.
Yeah.
You can disenchant commons though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably for very little.
Yeah, for
not
very
enough
little.
For you to even
How
do
much?
it.
Do you
Yeah.
know?
I
Like
think
10 or
for
something?
I think either 5 or 10.
Oh, for sure.
It's not very
yeah,
much.
It's nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like that is in place, so you can. It's not entirely random. You can make the deck you want. You just need a lot of dust to do so. And how you get dust is by after you open up a whole bunch of packs, you end up getting duplicates of cards because you can only have
Right.
2 of each card.
And they're always gold, right? When you get them.
No.
No. Because I've realized that when I was going up in level with some heroes,
Uh-huh.
they would give me the same card,
Mhm.
like a common card or something, except just give it to me.
Oh, that's
as
what you
gold.
mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
So each level,
Yeah.
each character has a level bar, and as you play them and as you level that character up, they give you either basic cards, like up until level 10, you get new cards, and then after level 10, you get golden versions of the cards.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah. You can't disenchant those. Those are just basic cards.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So this
Okay.
so this is actually something funny that I just thought of. So you're explaining all this to me,
Uh-huh.
right? And I'm a new player, but at the same time you're explaining it to Mahed, who is unaware, but he's been playing for 3 months, right? So why?
Yeah.
Why?
That's more a knock on me, to
why-
be honest.
Yeah, but why is this explanation coming from you and not from Blizzard and from the game itself? Whereas buying a card or buying a pack is way more prominent of a thing that they want you to do, as opposed to earning your way. That's what I mean by it's underhanded.
Sure.
Because they really are pushing you. It's like
Dollar bills, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, straight up. It's like in some games, like they'll have like you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of advertisements. Advertisements have this huge thing that tell you, like, if you're on a website or if you're like streaming something, you're torrenting something, like it'll tell you skip this ad, but it's like on the bottom, the very bottom corner.
Right.
Whereas if you click anywhere else, you go to the website of that ad. You know what I mean? So the most prominent thing is the advertisement, and then leaving the advertisement, which is what everybody wants to do, is the thing that's the smallest, like the absolute smallest, with like your mouse has to be like in the exact right pixel to even like
Yeah.
get it. You know what I mean? That's what Hearthstone reminds me of. If I had to ever like write anything like poetic about it, is that it's just it's an advertisement. It's just a giant advertisement for their own thing.
That's actually very funny. I had never thought of it like that. They don't explain the dust kind of creating your cards at all.
No.
Yeah, they
but
don't give a
it
shit.
is part of the tutorial to take you to the shop and make you buy something with in-game currency.
They're just gently leading
I
us
never
there.
thought of it like that.
Yeah, no, that's exactly the impression that I got when I was playing. I'm like, okay, these guys just want me to spend $7 or whatever on the pack, or how? No, it's not 7, it's like less. But like, they just want me to spend money on the pack and then move on with my life.
And you know what? They're good. They're good at it.
Yeah, of course.
Because let me tell you,
Of course.
I used to make it a point of pride to be the person who has never spent a single penny on a free to play game.
Sure.
dude.
And they got to me.
Where'd
They got
that-
to me just
where'd
a
that
month
pride
ago.
get you, dude?
I spent $20. It got me nowhere at all. And it's just making me feel shame right now.
refuse to
Though I
s-
shouldn't, but
I refuse to spend a single penny on this game. And I don't know how long I'm going to be able to refuse, but I'm going to refuse for
it did make it a little better.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to spend a single penny. I don't at all. I don't want to spend any money. If I was going to spend $30 on anything, I would get it on just a new game in general. I wouldn't want to get it on
Because now it just
Hearthstone.
feels like I paid $20 to play Hearthstone. I mean, which sounds about correct because of the amount of joy I've derived from it. But
Yeah.
Are you deriving joy, though? Are you deriving joy, or are you just like feeling this like brief elation till
Well, you
your
know what?
next victory?
You know what?
I mean?
You know what? I think it's also cool when you have friends to play with.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
against
Yeah.
each other.
No, of course.
Like I played against Emin, and Emin's a god compared to me. And like he's just done some crazy shit when we've played. Like just those what are those cards that when they die they revive again?
Oh god, the Dreadsteed.
The Dread Steed, those
Yeah.
fucking
Those are
Dread
shit,
Steeds.
dude.
You kill them, they come back like they're just there forever.
Yeah, you have
Like,
to silence them.
Dude,
for
when I
them to
first
go
read
away.
that, I just couldn't believe that they made that. What do you mean it can't die? It's just
Yeah.
always there. Anyway, I mean, completely messed me up. But then you know what? 3 games in, there was one game when he just didn't get his cards or whatever the fuck happened, and I
Yeah.
beat him, and it felt so good.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll
Felt
tell you
so
my
good,
most
John.
hated card so far to go up against.
All right.
A Murloc Knight.
Oh yeah.
I hate Murloc Knights, dude, with a passion because you kill them.
Yeah.
Not kill them. It's inspire, right? So if you use like your hero ability, then like they summon a random Murloc. Is that right?
Yep.
And they can summon another Murloc Knight.
Yep.
And so I've just been in a game where someone had 2 Murloc Knights. He did his inspire, and they both summoned 2 more Murloc Knights, and I just conceded right there. The guy said, "I'm sorry," and
Yep.
I just conceded, dude. I was done. I'm not dealing with this, dude. I don't need this stress in my life. Next game.
Yeah.
I just want to point something out. When I play somebody and I'm about to lose, or like generally when people play each other and they're about to lose, you know, people concede all the time.
Yep.
You know, sometimes if I feel that someone has earned it, I let them kill me. Because you know what? They've earned it. And I've seen people who return the favor. Because you know what? It's satisfying when you get that final kill and then they
Sure.
blow up.
Yeah.
It is just a bit more unsatisfying whenever they concede. So I just like to point that out.
Yeah.
That's something I go by. It's a code.
Yeah.
Okay, dude. Sounds good. Principle in the card game, huh?
Of
That's
course,
cool, man. That's cool. Why not?
One thing I really like about Hearthstone, though, is the entire emote thing that they have. So
Yeah.
you can't really communicate with the person you're playing against. You have 6 predetermined emotes, like "thank you" or "welcome"
Greetings.
or "greetings."
Or
yeah.
what is the warrior
Light
say?
shall burn you.
Yeah,
Yep.
I know. It's crazy shit. Like they'll go like, "Hey, greetings." Like that sounds so condescending.
Yeah.
The warrior. Fuck him, man.
Yeah, so you could do some really big mind games with that, and it is a lot of fun. It could get very satisfying.
So tell me a mind game that you've run, dude. A crazy mind game. How do you run a mind game with 6 emotes, dude? Tell me.
Just say sorry over and over again until someone gets angry enough to do something rash.
Oh yeah.
You put a secret down. As Paladin, there's a secret that when something dies, it comes back with 1 health, right? You put a secret down, and you immediately end your turn, and you say, whoops, like, I messed up. As in, you forgot to play a minion. So it makes them think that the secret is something else.
Oh, that's actually legit.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, there are little things that you could do like that.
Yeah. The only mind game I've ever run, and it's not even a mind game. It's somebody that like did the taunt one to me, like the taunt emote, right?
Yeah.
Like he taunted me after like
Justice
he
demands retribution.
Yeah, he straight up did justice demands retribution, and I'm like, okay, dog, I'll give you retribution, and I just let my turn play out. He was gonna win, he was gonna kill me next turn, and I let my entire turn play out, and I just sat there and I just waited, dude, because I have my other monitor and I don't care. I'm just like on Reddit or whatever, and I just let it run through and just made him pay for his idiot taunt. He just wasted a lot of time. And that's about
Good
it,
for
dude.
you, John.
That's my mind game, dude.
You can also squelch the person, so you don't have to deal with this bullshit.
Yeah, what is that? That mutes them or
Yeah,
whatever?
it just mutes them. So like they could spam all they want. It doesn't
I
matter to
didn't
you.
know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just click them, squelch.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds good, dude. I wish I could squelch my life.
Oh, Johnny.
All right, guys. Let's go ahead and take a break, and we'll be right back.
I've got spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle, jingle, jangle as I go ride merrily along.
All right, we're back. Thank you, John. That was
Of course.
that was very pleasant.
Oh man, I love that song, and I'll tell you why I love that song.
Okay.
I love that song because of Fallout
Yeah. So that was the
from New Vegas. Yeah,
Oh, that was from
yeah,
New Vegas.
that was
Okay.
from New Vegas actually.
Yeah, I'm just excited to dive into Fallout 4, which is coming out in a few days, right?
I
Was it
think,
November 6th, I think?
I think, no, I don't think in November 6th. No way. We're on, what is it, November 3rd right now. I think it's like in a week, isn't it?
I'm not really sure.
I
Because
heard-
I'm not too interested in Fallout.
Oh,
Here we
okay,
go.
dude, you gotta share with me your
why is that, man?
non-interest, your neglect to Fallout, please.
Okay, well, I
like
was
to
telling you
hear
guys
this.
earlier, I legitimately think that Fallout 3 is an objectively good game,
Okay.
but it is just not for me. Just because I always get a bit overwhelmed when it comes to open world stuff, just because I'm a bit of a completionist, so I like to go through everything. And after putting in 40 some hours into a game, doing all the side quests, doing all the little things, you sort of get burned out with like just the mechanics. You get burned out with the game. So a lot of times like that happens to me in a lot of open world games. I never finished GTA 5. I never finished Fallout 3. I put a lot of hours into all of them. It's just
You just
know,
think
I
there's
get
too
bored.
much to do, huh?
Yeah. And I just kind of feel wrong if I'm only doing the main story.
Like you're missing out on doing some cool stuff.
Yeah.
But then it's a catch-22 because
Exactly.
if you do the cool stuff, you'll get burned out.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks.
So,
But that's not the only reason. Like there's a whole bunch of other stuff that kind of just rub me the wrong way.
well, I want to know what those things are actually, because the open world stuff, I feel like Fallout 3, more than most open world games, it's known for the fact that you can go anywhere and do anything right off the bat, right after you get out of the vault, right? And so,
right, because
yeah.
I know it was like this in Skyrim, but do all the creatures level up with you, or are there regions that some creatures
actually,
are tougher?
so actually,
I forget.
Skyrim wasn't like that. Actually, Oblivion was like that. Oblivion was precisely like that. That is scaled leveling,
Okay.
right? Whereas Skyrim was more region-based leveling, but it was more independent from the player than it was in Oblivion. Oblivion was like straight up, you level up, the whole game levels
Yeah.
up with you. Skyrim mitigated that because they know it was a huge criticism. Now, if you're asking about Fallout 3,
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know if things leveled up with you, but because it was a gun game, I don't think it was dependent on your levels. I think it was just dependent on your skill with the guns, whether or not you could damage them or not damage them. The way, I don't know, the way that it was worked for Fallout 3, at least in my opinion, was that the open world was like its biggest strength, more so than a lot of other games. So I understand what you mean when you say that most open world games they're overwhelming. I will agree with you. I didn't finish GTA 5 for that very reason. Like I just kind of burned out of everything to do,
Exactly.
and it was just kind of like obnoxious.
Yeah.
But Fallout 3, in my opinion, like definitely cemented the way that open world, at least Bethesda's formula, like they really hit the nail on the head with Fallout 3.
Yeah, because they said themselves that player freedom is their number one priority.
Yeah. No, 100%. The second you get out of the vault, dude, you can go anywhere, do anything, and you just have something to do in any direction that you go. And it's so liberating and so just like when you first see the wasteland and you see like those broken highways, you know what I mean, that are like kind of suspended up, and you see the I don't even remember the name of the town, but like the one with the atom bomb in the middle.
Yep.
And then you
Megaton.
Megaton, there you go. Like all these places like kind of just add to it, and like, oh, there's a place I can go to, and they're like, they don't hold your hand in a way, like they just kind of let you go.
Bethesda does that very well. The very first initial time that they let you free.
Oblivion, Skyrim, Fallout
Every single
3,
one of those
every
games,
single
yeah.
one.
Like
Yeah.
it's like goosebump moments.
Yeah.
Like every single one of those games.
They do it
absolutely.
on purpose, 100%. No,
yeah,
they know what
absolutely.
they're doing.
Yeah. But yeah, like going back to some of the other things of Fallout that kind of not really for me. For me, gameplay over story every time. And for me, Fallout, just the gunplay of it, Fallout 3, I didn't play New Vegas, but Fallout 3 especially, it was a bit janky.
Did you get
It
bored?
did not feel right.
Did you get bored of the mechanic where it pauses and you have
That-
to
I'm
choose
actually
your
very
regions?
against that.
I love that.
I love
Yeah.
that too.
I
It's
love
just
that.
because
It's so fun.
It stops the action.
Yeah, it does.
It stops the action. You pause the entire game.
But you know,
And you now you have a 20% chance to shoot the guy's right arm.
You
Like,
can
well,
not
whatever.
do that.
yeah,
though.
you don't have to.
Yeah, but you sort of need to.
Yeah,
That's
you're
Like
right.
later on, it becomes necessary.
It's very clunky otherwise, or so it feels.
Yeah.
Yeah, the FPS mechanics are not as like refined
refined.
as like an actual FPS game.
If Fallout played like Halo, for example,
It would be a different story.
I would be 100% on board. But just
Yeah.
because it
I don't
doesn't.
like that.
Sorry?
I don't like that.
No.
No, dude. No.
Give me that clunkiness. Give me that
Yeah.
jankiness. Yeah.
You know why? Because along with it comes awesome cinematics. And I'm a sucker for cinematics, dude.
Yeah, the kill cam is fun.
They pause the game, but they don't just pause it and then just carry on like before. They pause it with the intention of showing you a fucking cool perspective of the battle that's
You
going
follow
on.
like the bullet
You know?
to like the guy's head.
Yeah,
and the
like
head
the-
like flies off. Like God knows what
the
else.
camera shifts and it shows the battle from like a different perspective. You know, like you wouldn't get that if you were just shooting the guy straight in the head in
Yeah.
real time.
You know why they put in the VATS mode in the first place, or at least my suspicion. And I'm pretty like I don't know if they've ever mentioned it in an interview, but I feel like I know I'm right because the old Fallout games, Fallout 1 and 2,
Right.
were turn-based. And so they wanted to kind of translate that turn-based system into the recent market of their games, which ended up being VATS. VATS is just a simple way not to turn-base it, but to do the real-time pause, like to stand there. I don't even know if the Fallout 1 and 2 were specifically turn-based. They might have been real-time with pause. But basically it was that translation. It was pausing the action so that you could strategize what you wanted to do, where you wanted to shoot, like how you wanted to deal with the current thrust of enemies coming at you, and then you resume and like you see exactly what Maheda was saying. You see this awesome cinematic from like a different angle completely of like what's going down. It goes down and then you continue the action and wait for your points to your action points to like regenerate. And
It's very interesting you mentioned that because it is still basically turn-based because of that.
sort of, but when is the enemy's turn? You're just shooting them.
I mean, a lot of times you enter a room and there are 5 dudes around you.
Yeah.
And you have no choice but to basically stop and
You need to.
pick your shots.
You need
and
to.
Then, and then a lot of times you're out of ammo, right? At the end of it. So then you better hope that your turn was smart, strategically decided, or else you're fucked.
Yeah, you have like a 40% chance to attack their head, but like you chose, like you risked it.
You took the risk,
You
man.
risked
You
it.
took the risk, and if you fuck up, you're gonna get shot in the
Yeah.
head. And I like that. I like that. a
No,
lot.
it's fantastic, bro, dude. No, I love the VATS mechanic in Fallout 3. Like
I forgot how exactly you do the VATS. Like, what limited you from doing VATS all the time?
action points. It was
Okay.
that. So you have a certain amount of action points, and I forgot what determines how many action points you have, or like what the
I
bar
think it just
is.
regenerates over time.
It does
if I don't-
regenerate over time after you use it, but
Okay.
I don't know what determines the max amount that you have. I forgot.
Hmm.
I totally don't remember. But either it was determined by something, or maybe it was just a standard amount for everyone. But you have a certain amount of action points, and every time you attack like something farther away, it like takes up more.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're closer, you could just attack like their torso with your shotgun. It's like less action points. You know what I mean? Because it's just a straight shot.
Sure.
So it just depends, and then that regens over time.
Mm-hmm.
You like backtrack, you kite them a little bit, like it. Like the combat in Fallout had its own kind of culture to it. Like it had its own kind of every encounter. You had a strategy that kind of carried out throughout the whole game and how you wanted to do it based on your build, like in the beginning or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
They changed up the VAT system for Fallout 4 a little bit.
How so? I don't even know.
Yeah, so it's no longer action points. You build up a meter. So the
Ooh.
more you fight, the more you shoot around, then your meter builds up. And once you max that out, then you could go into VATS.
I like that
And
way
it
more.
does not, I do too. And it does not pause the game entirely. It just slows it down.
That I love the most.
Yeah.
That is great.
Oh, it just moves in super slow motion.
Yeah. Yeah. So like they're more embracing the shooter part of it.
You know,
So you have to
Which-
make quicker decisions.
Yeah.
a little bit quicker. Probably it's not.
No,
like,
but it
yeah.
still slows down. Like, did you guys ever play Mass Effect, for example? Mass Effect 1 and 2.
A little bit.
Like you could pause the game, but it
Slows
just
down.
slows it down.
Same thing with Witcher 1 and 2.
Yep.
Or Witcher 2 and
Yep.
3, sorry.
Yep.
It just kind of slows down everything when you get into your menu. You have to quick choose and
Yep.
you just get back.
That's
in the
really
action.
cool. I'll because that's a question that I had about this new Fallout. Like the VAT system is pretty. It seemed pretty rigid to me. Like how are they gonna change that up?
Yeah.
There isn't much you can change. Like the
I
game
definitely think
pauses.
that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah. So it's interesting how
Just
they're
making it more
actually-
action. Like, they're embracing the shooter part of it.
Mhm.
You know what else, based on exactly what you just said?
What's that?
How they're kind of changing things around and slowly in the favor of more, I guess, like quote unquote hardcore like crowds is stim packs. I know this for a fact. Is that like the stim packs basically like in the old games?
the health regen thing.
Yeah, like the thing that you just like pump into yourself for like a quick boost of health.
Right.
In the old games, it's like any other Elder Scrolls games or Bethesda games. You pause, you drink all your potions, eat all your food or whatever, and then you unpause and all your health is back, right?
Yeah.
So now what they're doing apparently is where every time you do a stim pack, it has its own animation that you can't shoot during. Okay, so you have to pause, do your stim pack, and then the animation comes in. It's like a needle or whatever, and it only regenerates your health over time.
Interesting.
It is not an instant thing. So that just makes combat all the more interesting and more
Difficult?
dynamic. Yeah, way more difficult. I don't know if this is for every difficulty in the game. It might be for like maybe the hardest mode or
So
something.
refresh my memory. Did Fallout 3 come in one difficulty?
I don't think so. I think it came in numerous. I think it came in more than a couple. I don't know for sure.
Okay.
I know that New Vegas had a survival mode where like it counted like how thirsty you were, how hungry you were, and stuff like that. And I know that Fallout 4 might take advantage of that as well for their hardest difficulty. But I know that Fallout 4 has difficulty levels. I don't know if Fallout 3 did. It might have. I'm pretty sure it did.
Yeah.
So most of their games have like a slider of some kind.
You know what I'm interested to see how it plays out? The addition of the dog.
Right.
They had
Didn't
that
you have a dog
before.
in 3?
I don't know if you had a dog in 3, maybe in the DLC. You had a dog in 4 for sure. Or not 4, New Vegas, sorry.
Oh, I didn't play New Vegas.
Oh, dude, you had a dog
I don't
in-
think you had a dog in Fallout 3.
In the DLC, I believe so.
Okay.
Okay.
I believe so. I could be wrong again.
Okay.
But in Fallout New Vegas, it was very fun. You had to actually do a quest to get your dog, and your dog has like a brain, like a cybernetic brain. Like you had to pick out of like a series of like 3 or 4 brains that determine your dog's personality, and that's what gives
That's
you.
pretty fucking cool.
That's what gives you
Huh.
your dog like its personality. Like you put its brain in there, and it just follows you around everywhere. It was like my best companion. It was like the coolest.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
no.
what are the different personalities you could give it? Like aggressive,
Yeah, you
defensive,
could give it like aggressive, defensive. Like you could say like attack this certain enemy or this certain enemy. Like you could give it like kind of nuances in what it wanted to
Okay.
do. It was cool.
Did it
was like-
actually add to the complexity of combat? Did it make the game better?
what, the dog or
Yeah,
just
other
having
than being, like-
companions in general?
I mean, other than being like a cute like companion.
Oh, dude, you need a companion in that game, in my opinion. Like that, like Fallout New Vegas was way harder than Fallout 3 in general.
What was the main difference?
Okay, so I'll tell you the main difference. We were talking about Fallout 3 earlier, how you can, the second you're out of the vault, you can go do whatever you want. Fallout New Vegas is still open world. It's Vegas.
A lot more linear though.
It's a lot more linearly built. So if you
Cool.
want to go your own way, chances are you're just going to get wrecked by monsters that are just beyond anything you could fathom, right? But so the game kind of caters you towards a certain way until you get to the strip. And then once you get to the strip, you can do whatever you want. But getting to the strip actually is not like the first thing you do, despite the name being New Vegas. You don't get to the Vegas Strip until like a while into the game. And that while is comprised of a kind of path, like a very, very deliberate path that Obsidian or Entertainment like catered for
Yeah.
you. Like,
It's interesting that they went in that direction.
yeah, it wasn't linear in the sense you were blocked by like walls or anything. It was just the monsters would wreck you if you tried to skip them, like Death Claws, Cazadores,
Yeah.
which were a new addition in Fallout New Vegas. The Cazadores are like giant mosquitoes. They just fucked you.
So
Like, they were awful.
So I have a question for you. So because it was a lot more linear in that sense, did it also feel like the story, there was a focus on the story more so than Fallout 3?
Dude, oh man, you're opening up a can of worms. Basically, like the New Vegas story is faction based. So you choose like a faction that you want to support or a group that you want to support, and they have their own kind of quest line or they have their own kind of general like demographic of tasks that you need to complete.
So once you get to the strip, is it still deliberate, like you were saying?
No, once you get to the strip, the narrative and the game itself opens up.
It
and
becomes like Fallout 3 where it's just completely free?
Yes, but the only difference being that New Vegas, as I said just now, has a huge focus on factions. So whereas Fallout 3, you could kind of do whatever you want anytime and anything. In Fallout New Vegas, you have to be cognizant of what you're doing because you could be hunted by certain factions, or you can like walk into a territory of a certain faction that like,
I see.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just kind of like you will get bombarded by the narrative whether you like it or not in Fallout New Vegas. Whereas Fallout 3, like the narrative is kind of its weakest point. And
That's
you don't,
interesting.
yeah, you don't need to worry about it too much. Yeah.
Was New Vegas a standalone game or was that straight DLC?
It was
I forget, it's been
standalone
a
game,
while.
but same engine as Fallout 3.
Okay.
Yeah, Gamebryo or whatever. It was made in the tool set, same as everything else, yeah.
I believe Fallout
But different
4,
developer.
I believe Fallout 4 is still using the same engine as Fallout 3. It's a modded Bethesda creative engine.
It's
Sorry,
using,
no, not the Fallout engine. I'm sorry,
Skyrim.
it's the Skyrim engine.
It's using that engine, which is basically Gamebryo.
Didn't they say it's like new and improved?
Yeah, bro, they say that shit. It's just PR.
Yeah.
So it's not really?
So just from what I've seen
It's improved.
from Fallout 4 is like, I don't know, man. It does not look like a modern game. It looks like a 4 or 5 year old game.
It looks like I'll agree with you. It looks old. I wouldn't say 4 or 5 years old. I would say like maybe it's like the very early PS4 era or like the late PS3 era
Sure.
type of game.
Sure.
Yeah, so I'd say like maybe 2-3 years.
So,
old.
so do you think it looks that way? Because this is a thought I had. Do you think it looks that way because in both games, I mean, the idea of Fallout is it's post-apocalyptic, right? Like a shitstorm happens and like everywhere around you turns to like ruins.
Yeah.
Sure.
So like I'm thinking maybe it doesn't initially seem that much better in terms of graphics because how good can you make a desert scene look? You know, necessarily.
Fallout
Like,
4 pops out a
Have you
lot
played
more than
Journey?
I have not.
They do deserts very well.
Yeah, no, I haven't played it, but I've seen.
I mean,
some
my
stuff.
point is, if you were playing a game that was set in a setting that's that fosters like great graphics, you know, like let's say like a world in the clouds or like Atlantis underwater or something like that. I mean, do you think it's sort of restricted by the setting that it has to have because of the story?
Generally, I feel like yes, for Fallout 3 New Vegas, it was very restricted, as you said. That's probably the best word. It was very restricted because their art style wasn't really up to par with general graphics, and they wanted to have that like post-apocalyptic feel, which didn't quite work in my opinion. Like even then when I played Fallout 3 in New Vegas, like they weren't good-looking games at all. But Fallout 4 looks very different. Fallout 4's art style is like popping. Like there's colors everywhere.
From
and-
that E3 video
yeah.
that I saw, it looked pretty nice.
Yeah, it
looked
looks
pretty
nice, but yeah, I know what you mean, and I know what Emin means too.
Yeah.
Like the graphics aren't really its strongest point; it looks old and stuff. And I know what you mean is that like it's meant for a specific purpose in my head. But I'd say that it always, and this is true for any game pretty much. It always looks better in motion on your monitor,
Sure.
as opposed to like in a video screenshot, etc.
Of course.
It will always look better and you will always think of it better. And that's just how games are in general. That's the nature of it. Like you think of Zelda Ocarina of Time way differently than it actually is, simply because of how it looks on your monitor or your screen or whatever. You know what I mean? Like that's just how games are. Like they're better in motion. You don't want to stand there and look at a fucking shitty texture of a brick wall, you know, for an hour, even though that's what like some critic would super focus on, you know?
Sure.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm gonna go back to the dog for just a moment because I do think, I mean, they're mentioning the dog quite a bit. You know, in the initial little teaser, they brought up the dog.
Yeah.
In the E3 video, they showed you just a little clip
Dog
where
meat.
you meet the dog
Yeah.
and then you point to a wrench and you say, "Inspect wrench, dog," while I stand here, and the dog went and brought you the wrench. You know, and then when you were fighting, you just sort of it just ignored the dog for a second and you were just going to shoot this fucking ugly looking thing on the ground. You know, I want to know how the dog is going to incorporate itself into the complexity of the combat or the game. I want to know if it's more than just like the wrench. I could have walked up and picked up that wrench myself, dude. I didn't need to stand here like being a complete fucking idiot while the dog just goes and gets my wrench and brings it to me.
A few videos did get leaked of combat footage just today or yesterday, I believe, and combat footage that shows the dog. And the dog AI is not that strong. and a lot of people are sort of shitting on it.
Yep. I feel like
Yeah.
the
That's a
AI has
concern
never
of
been
mine.
strong
Yeah.
in Bethesda games. Like,
Yeah,
it's
it never has been.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, they're henchmen, they're companions, all this stuff. Like,
I mean, if they're making such a big deal out of the dog, you know, I want it to be.
Are they making a big deal out of the dog?
I mean, I've
Like,
seen
is
the dog
that a
a
big
lot.
selling point about Fallout 4? Like, this is the first time I've actually had a conversation about the dog.
No, dude. I mean, I just mentioned that because I saw the E3 video and it was just like, and
Talking
here's
about the
the
dog.
dog.
I
And
remember
like,
that.
Everyone was like, woo, you know, like, woo, a dog, cool. What's it gonna do? Go get me that wrench, dog. You know,
All
like
right.
it.
I think it's the dog is they don't care really. Like, I don't think they care about the dog in the combat thing. I think it's there because thematically in a post-apocalyptic universe, like a man and his dog or a
Yeah.
woman and his dog.
Yeah, I
or her
love
dog.
that. I love that.
That's the whole idea of it.
Is that all it is?
That
though?
is really probably all it is, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be other like human companions or whatever that you can get on. The same as I don't know if Fallout 3 had it, but New Vegas definitely had a ton of companions you can have. So I don't know if they would get rid of that, but that was a great thing to
Yeah.
have. I love companions. I love like extra NPCs.
No,
with
I'm
their
on
own
board,
stories.
man. I'm on board.
There's a dog is a dog, dude. Like in New Vegas, you can have I might be wrong, but you can only have one human companion with you at any time. But you can always have your dog as an addition to your party
Okay.
with a human companion. So I think the dog is simply there for the thematic like grace of it. Otherwise, yeah, no, dude, like it doesn't matter. It's just a fucking mutt. You're not gonna like. Are you really gonna? Are you really
I guess
gonna
we'll see.
develop? Yeah, you're not gonna develop an emotional connection with the dog. Like,
Well,
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't really care. Like it, it's cool. I don't think you'll even be able to let it die. In most Bethesda games, like all your companions are like they
Yeah.
just get knocked out and then they revive after combat.
that's
So
true.
who
They're not
cares?
gonna let the dog be permanently killed.
Yeah, no,
There's
way,
no
dude.
fucking way that's gonna happen.
They're not gonna make you develop like this thing with the dog and then let it die. And the development is not even that great to begin with. So
Yeah.
just kind of there.
Who knows?
Yeah,
We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, I would love to be proven wrong or anything about the upcoming game. Really.
yeah.
Yeah.
Have they announced anything about the plot or the story of it?
I don't know.
What's happening with Fallout 4?
I heard that it has something to do with MIT, but that's it. I don't know anything
MIT?
about. Yeah, MIT. Like
Massachusetts
Yeah.
Institute
Oh,
of
so
Technology.
that's where it takes place? I don't know much about Fallout
it
4.
takes place in
yeah,
Boston.
it's in Boston, so that
yeah,
makes
it's in
sense.
Boston. And
Cool.
I heard that there's a place in Fallout 4 called the Institute, and someone escaped from the Institute, and he has something to do with the main plot. But I know nothing else about it. I
Okay.
know absolutely nothing. I know that you can. What is it? You start the game, or part of the game is like pre-war. Like it's a pre-war flashback.
I
or
saw that
something
from
like
the video too.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Like
Other
a man
than-
and a wife and a child.
Yeah,
and-
yeah. Your wife,
shit
or if
happens.
you're the woman, your husband, or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But yeah, like that's all. Literally, all I know about the story is that. I don't even know if you're in a vault like the other games. I have no clue. I don't know. I don't know.
I wonder, like, since you're talking about the entire flashback thing going back before the war, before the apocalypse, like, I wonder if that's going to be something you keep going back to, or is it just kind
The
of
beginning?
an intro kind of tutorial thing?
Don't know.
It would be interesting if you keep going back to,
Yeah.
the world before it got fucked up.
I remember in
That
Fallout.
would be an interesting thing.
That would be a
Yeah.
cool thing to explore.
Yeah.
I agree.
I remember in Fallout 3, you go to this.
the black and white world.
You go to
with
the black and white world.
yeah.
That's like kind of like this pre-war, like a little neighborhood, and you try to like get out because you're in that virtual reality or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really cool part of the whole game, and something like that would really benefit the fourth game as well. If you could go back, kind of explore the memory or whatever of your pre-war self, that'd be fun with your family and this and that.
Yeah.
I don't even know if your family survives. Like, what happened? I have no idea. Like, you have a wife and a child, right? Or are you the child? I don't know. I have no
Maybe.
clue. Yeah, I don't know. Are you the child that like you made? I have no clue. I don't know.
It's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be good.
I think it's gonna just sell, dude. It's gonna sell great
Yeah.
because Bethesda's already made a name for themselves, and I think it's gonna be a fun game.
And they
This
haven't made a shitty game in recent years.
just depends on what you qualify as shitty, dude. I guess like some people will say they're very shitty, and I'm sure like a lot right now a lot of people are saying Fallout 4 is gonna be awful just from the leaks. I think it's gonna be fun. And I know that it's going to have a ton of faults, but I think it's just going to be fun. I think it's just going to be enjoyable.
Dude, a game that ambitious is gonna encounter some faults naturally.
Yeah.
You know?
Open world will hit a hitch always. Always. That's just the nature of the beast.
Because you can't. I mean, they keep saying themselves that player independence is our number one priority. you know? So if they're giving so much leeway to the character or the person playing the game, then I think they're constantly going to be encountering like new, like things they didn't even know could happen because they can't account for every single player.
Sure.
They don't know what every single every single player is going to do, you know? Who knows? It's ambitious, and I admire the ambition they have to make such a game.
Yeah, well,
All their games, yeah, they're like that.
well, hopefully, fingers crossed. Like I'm hoping for a good game.
I am too, dude.
Yeah.
And honestly, having Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas as like predecessors kind of makes me optimistic because I really love those games. I really enjoyed them. I loved playing from minute 1 to the end for each one, and I felt like I know a lot of people will like argue against one or the other, like saying this one was better, etc. But both games really stood on their own as great entries to the saga. I haven't played the first 2. I've seen clips of people playing them. I've learned about them a little bit.
Yeah.
So I feel like, yes, maybe the Fallout franchise didn't evolve the way that a lot of people would like, but Fallout 3 and New Vegas really stand alone as great games, and I feel like Fallout 4 is going to stand alone as a great game. But I think just the way that the leaks are swaying, that perhaps there's going to be a lot more to criticize with Fallout 4.
Yeah.
I think that is going to receive a lot more criticism than it should in general. Or maybe it should receive all that criticism. I don't know.
Dude, I think because they set such a high standard with
Yeah.
Fallout 3. Like the jump between Fallout 2. I know very little about Fallout 2, but I know that the jump between Fallout 2 and Fallout 3 was just monumental.
Yep.
Like crazy.
Like
Well,
they're
there's
just
like almost a decade between the two games.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah,
right?
different
so-
developers, everything.
Yeah.
So a standard has been set, you know? Like Fallout 3 is incredible. How are you going to top it? Or how are you even going to match it?
Yeah.
You know?
I will say that Bethesda's DLC is always on point. It's always great. It's always on point. I love it. So if if anything's wrong with Fallout 4, I expect them to really address it in the DLC, which, you know, like it's its own can of worms, like saying like, oh, why do we need DLC, this, that, blah, blah. But like I don't know. I don't mind the DLC that Bethesda does because it's always filled with content and it's never that expensive.
Yeah, it's
Have
always...
they talked about DLC at all?
I don't
about
know.
Fallout 4?
Probably not.
Because I
heard
remember
anything.
for Skyrim, they did some kind of not so great DLC. Well, what was it? I'm gonna say Hearthstone, but that's not what they called
No,
it.
it's yeah. I know what you're talking about. The one where you make a house and stuff like that.
Yeah.
that was absolute trash. It was meaningless. But
Yeah.
the real, like, I wouldn't even consider that a DLC in
How
my
much
mind.
did you have to pay for it?
I don't know.
It was like $15.
Yeah, no, it was
No, it was like a decent DLC bit.
Fuck that.
What was the other stuff that they brought for Skyrim?
Dawn Guard, the first one.
Right, that
With
was okay.
Dawn Guard,
Yeah, that was cool.
Phenomenal. I
Yeah.
love Dawn Guard. And the second one was Dragonborn, I think, just straight up called
You're right.
Dragonborn, and took place on this whole other island. I didn't get through it because, like, at that point, I had lost my patience with Skyrim. But I feel like a lot of people did love it. It called back upon a lot of nostalgia, and it was cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Dawn Guard one, that was the vampire one.
yeah,
Right?
dude. You could choose to fight the vampires or be with the vampires. I chose
Kill 'em
to
all.
fight the vampires. Yeah, no, vampires.
I'm not gonna be a
scum,
vampire.
dude.
Fuck that.
No, honestly, dude.
They tried to make me a werewolf.
No, you know what is interesting? Because like whenever I played those games, I always role play a little bit.
Sure.
And I'm like, you know what would make a lot of sense for my character is if like he goes like against the vampires and he figures out like it's not going to be easy alone. So he enlists the help of like the companions who turn him into a werewolf.
Right.
And I literally
That's
fought.
cool.
Yeah, I fought the boss vampire or whatever as a werewolf. And it was really
Nice.
fucking fun. Yeah, no. On it, if I had to choose, dude, always a werewolf over a vampire in any medium. Vampires are just like punks. Hate them all. They're all dumb. No, Twilight, everything. No, get out of here, please, dude.
I don't know. I think you can make an argument for Twilight.
I would love you to try to make an argument for Twilight, dude, because I'm ready to like just bellow a laugh.
I don't know if you're being facetious, and I don't care.
No. I legitimately think Twilight is genius.
the movie
not
or the
because-
book. Hold on.
Just Twilight in general.
In general, okay, dude, please.
Have you read a single line from the Twilight book series?
That's the thing. I don't need to read a single line.
Oh, yeah, you do.
I don't need to
Oh, yeah,
watch.
you do. You
I
need
don't
to
need
know how
to
it's
watch the
conceived,
movie.
man.
All I know is that it makes bank. It makes a lot of money. A lot of people are really into it, and that in itself is genius. Like whoever constructed it, I didn't even know who the person wrote it. Or
Dude, the
thought
new
of everything.
Transformers
Meyer,
movie
dude.
makes $1 billion fucking dollars. Who gives a fuck? It's a piece of shit.
Yeah, dude.
That is not a standard
Dude, I
by
saw-
which you would rate the
saw-
quality of something, dude.
I saw that recent Transformers film, the one with what's his name? Not Matt Damon, dude. The guy who looks like him who was in
Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg, that guy. Okay.
I knew who you were talking about.
Yeah, bro. You know, I saw
in
the
the Transformers
Yeah,
movie?
the recent Transformers 4 or 5, I don't know, whatever.
Sure.
Where
Okay.
like they get on the freaking Decepticons or whatever, like as mounts, like as dinosaurs. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's like
I mean, that's pretty cool.
Dumb fucking shit, dude.
it's cool,
But
dude.
it sells bank, right?
No,
Fuck
it's
off.
honestly like the lowest common denominator film I've ever seen, dude. Like straight up, like just like across
I stopped
the board.
after Transformers 2. I'm done with Transformers.
The first Transformers, in my opinion, was like genius
yeah,
movie.
yeah, that
and
movie
then
was cool.
after
It was
that,
good.
dude, just plummet.
Dude, have you seen that South Park bit where they're spoofing movie trailers and they're like, next week Rob Schneider is a stapler. And, like, fuck you, come to the movie. Fuck you, you're gonna watch it. You know, like that's how I feel like these new Transformer movies are. Big robots, Transformers, your childhood. Fuck you, come watch it.
No, yeah,
it's dumb as fuck. Dude.
That's it. No, they know people are
Fuck
gonna
you,
watch
you're
it.
gonna
dude.
watch it. Fuck you.
Yeah.
That's all I hear when I see
Yeah.
those trailers.
It's all for toy advertisement or whatever. I don't even know. Like, dude, like I don't know. The Transformers films just kind of went to shite. I don't know if Rob Schneider is even relevant anymore to anybody, dude. I don't know what that guy's been doing for God knows how long. The
He's
last
been working on the next Twilight movie, man.
Rob Schneider, dude.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, no.
I'd
would
watch that.
watch that.
Wait,
I would
aren't
watch
the
that.
Twilight movies done?
Oh, are they? Oh, thank God.
I don't give a
They're
fuck.
done.
Oh,
I'm
thank
over it.
God they're done. Is that what you just told me after you said you could make an argument for Twilight, dude?
I mean, just fucking with us.
No. I still think like they're well constructed. Like there's a reason they sell so much.
Yeah, there is. Yeah,
Yeah.
I suppose, dude.
It's a
but I mean-
business, and they've done their business correctly. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's
So
good.
what's next for Twilight, buddy? Where do you see it going?
I'm just sitting here twiddling my thumbs. I'm waiting, anxiously waiting.
Yeah, for the next Twilight that you're not gonna watch or read or care about, but you'll know it'll
I'll just
make
go to
bank.
Box Office Mojo and be like, "Oh shit, that's a lot of money they
Yeah,
made. That's
dude.
pretty cool."
Great, dude. Great.
I should get into Twilight.
Fantastic. But if I had to choose a side, I'm telling you, dude, werewolves. Like I'm not about that.
Dude,
vampire
all I know
business.
is some dude who's never set foot in a library could probably write a more eloquent line than the author of fucking Twilight. That is all I have
Twilight-
to say. That is all I have to say.
Okay.
So an interesting thing about not Twilight specifically, but you guys know 50 Shades of Grey.
Yes.
You know, it was originally.
Where are we going, man?
Yeah, no, well, I mean, we're not going too many places, hopefully, with this, but 50 Shades of Grey was originally a fan fiction for Twilight online. And just so many people
shit.
really...
I did
yeah,
not know that.
Yeah, just so many people really liked it because it's just smut that she got it published and she made a lot of bank. So that's another...
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It's just smut?
Yeah, have you ever read it? Any of it?
No.
Oh, dude, it's straight up badly written smut. Like, I could write better smut. Easy squeezy. I could write better like erotica than whatever's in there. 100%.
And then he diddled her twat.
Sounds good, dude.
You know?
Oh no, but
Fucking
like
dumb.
honestly, like it's just a marvel to me that so many stupid things can make such great money, dude. And I guess you would call it genius. I mean, you would call it all genius,
I just
Mr.
appreciate it. That's all.
I think I'm gonna start calling you Mr. 50 Shades over here.
Oh no.
Yeah, no.
Call
dude.
me anything else.
No,
Call
I
me
don't-
Mr. Twilight.
Mr.
I'll take
Twi-
Mr. Twilight.
Yeah, that's not a bad name, Mr. Twilight. Yeah.
Okay, at least we can all agree that Fallout 4 is going to be better than Twilight.
Yeah.
Define better.
Oh,
all right, man.
God, dude, no.
More
it'll be better.
successful? Probably not.
Dude, you know what, man? I went to the midnight. Okay, like you wouldn't
Of
think.
Twilight?
No, I went to the midnight release of
Aw.
Skyrim. Okay?
Okay.
And you wouldn't think that like a game like Skyrim randomly would garner so much attention as it did. But that game sold so much, dude. It sold so much. They literally made like more money off that than I think most of their other titles combined. And like when I went to the midnight release in like middle of San Jose, like cause I was up in college at the time, like at the GameStop, there was just a line out the block for this game at midnight, like out of nowhere. I've never heard of people like going for an RPG in that like fervor.
World of Warcraft.
Well, that's an
I've
MMO.
been-
yeah. No, that's different.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
the thing about Skyrim is, man, and it's something that I noticed that it's very accessible. It's a very accessible game.
Yeah. But
Because
how did you know that from the beginning? How
I
would
did not
people
know that. I'll tell
Yeah.
you how I found that out. I was babysitting. I used to babysit like the people down 2 blocks from my house, or people that we knew, and they had a 13-year-old kid, and I went from seeing my 24-year-old brother at the time to playing Skyrim and enjoying it, you know, to seeing this 14-year-old kid also playing it and enjoying it. Because there are a lot of mature aspects of the game. You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the government against the rebels. You know, there's a lot of
The government.
the
dude.
government, the
Did you just
republic.
call it the government?
The Republic. That's the first thing that came to my head. Well, you can see why.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's that, and then there's just the wonder of it being a cool world. You know, you see a troll. Oh shit, that's a troll. I'm gonna fight a troll. You know, as a 13-year-old, I just think it's very accessible. I think a 40-year-old man can derive just as much pleasure as a 13-year-old playing that game.
Sure.
You're
it's
right,
a special
dude.
game.
And that's exactly why I don't know how successful Fallout will be. Because I want to say that they're going to bank on like Skyrim's success from their name alone, and they're just going to get people out the door wanting to play. But at the same time, Fallout is not as like
Accessible.
PR friendly.
No,
and
it's
Sure.
darker than Skyrim. I
Yeah,
think
it's
it's
a
a lot darker than Skyrim.
But it's still silly with that dumb cartoon guy that's like always
yeah, I mean they
smiling
have
and
to
stuff.
keep it lighthearted and
Yeah.
cool. But the idea, the theme itself is a lot darker.
Yeah.
I've just been thinking they haven't really been pushing Fallout 4 that much in the advertising front. Like I
Yeah, I
haven't
don't
seen too
believe
much
so.
of it. Like if we're comparing it to Skyrim, for example, like Skyrim was everywhere.
You know why? 11, 11, 11. 11, 11, 11. Everywhere you go, 11, 11, 11. This is the date. 11.
Was that the date? That
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
man.
when it
No,
came
yeah.
out.
It was just
Good
like,
for them.
and
they
they
pounced on an opportunity.
Yeah.
they cut a lot of content because they wanted to adhere to that date. You know what I mean? Like it was a double-edged sword. It got them all the sales, but it pissed off a lot of their hardcore fans.
Wasn't Skyrim really great about their DLC though?
Yeah.
Wasn't
Yeah,
Skyrim
yeah.
DLC like fucking awesome?
That's what we were
Yeah.
talking about. Yeah, Dawnguard and Dragonborn. Yeah, they
Yeah,
were
that
fantastic.
Hearth one.
Because
was
I don't know
kind
the
of
details
trash,
about those
but,
that DLC.
Yeah. No,
That's-
no,
yeah.
like very decent, very fair DLC.
Oblivion's DLC was fantastic too. Oblivion's DLC, the Shivering Isles,
Absolutely. Oh, they had a lot of bullshit in there as well.
the
like
horse armor,
the
and
horse
stuff.
armor.
But
and
you
all
know
that.
why? Because that was when DLC was new, dude. That was when DLC was
Yeah.
first getting off the ground as anything as a concept in the gaming industry.
Yeah.
we released like $2 horse armor, you know, whatever. But then you go from horse armor to like literally the Shivering Isles, like a whole new world. You know, I don't know. It's pretty cool. I'm glad that everything is baller, dude. I'm
Yeah.
glad that life is great and I can buy DLCs and drain my wallet in Hearthstone and Skyrim and Fallout 4. Just money going down the drain is great.
Oh,
It's
John,
fantastic.
I just hope Fallout 4 is as glorious as that mustache you're sporting, dude.
Oh,
I hope
dude.
it's
Oh,
just
man.
half as great as that mustache.
I don't
it just
know, man.
brightens my day when I look at it.
Dude, you're not the only one, man. I'm PAing for James Corden, the Late Late Show, and every time he sees me, he just goes on and on about my mustache. So
Nice.
yeah, dude, no, it's fantastic.
Has he caressed your mustache?
Keep it forever.
He's not caressed it, dude, but he said
Okay.
it's a triumph.
Okay.
It's a triumph.
it's a triumph.
How did that make you feel, man?
It made me feel too
Triumph.
giddy.
That would
dude.
validate me for life.
Yeah, no,
I don't
it's-
even know who the fuck that guy
It
is.
validated me for a week, dude. Now I need more. I need more compliments to feed me, dude. That's it.
Yeah. All right, guys. I think that does it for us. And thank you for tuning in. If you have some questions for us, please send them over to mail@thenextlevel.com, and we will answer it next week. Cool. Thanks, guys.
Take it easy, I mean.
Good night.